Okay, folks, that was the announcements. As you know, we normally do a numbers section, and we normally do it a damn sight earlier than this. The numbers section is intended, it's just facts and figures about the episode number. So this is episode 40 of TrampCast, and therefore, some facts about the number 40. As I said, we would normally do this within the first 5 or so minutes. We'd start this, and it's normally a way of just killing some time and waiting for people to join us here in the stream. We're currently nearly 20 minutes in, so that doesn't really work, does it? But I like the number stream. I've been tempted to ditch it in the past because it's not common. It's not what's the word? It's not popular with people. When I release it as a separate video, it gets no views. But here we are anyway, folks. So facts about the number 40. Minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit equals minus 40 Celsius. The two cross when you graph them out. Yeah, you see, Scruff, you're a little bit like me. You're like that, facts and information and how stuff works and just knowing shit. We're not normal, mate. I don't know if you've ever noticed. Big Clive might have mentioned it once or twice, but we're not normal. We're not the masses. I like to learn stuff. Yeah, me too. And this is why, I learn stuff every week when I do this rubbish. And like I said, it was only intended as a time waster while we just wait for people to join. Now it tends to be, look, now there are 9 people here, only 4 of you are giving thumbs up. But by the time I finish reading this crap out, the numbers section, there'll be less than 9 here. They'll have left. Sorry about that, folks, but it's my stream. Tina, no. Hey, Tina, no. It's my stream. We do what I say. Okay. The Bible was absolutely full of 40 this and 40 that, 40 days this and 40 years the other. I took a few of them, but I trimmed it down because I might have mentioned before, I'm not exactly religious myself. I have been called heathen scum, usually by myself. Not only do you not understand it, Jasper, you also can't spell it, mate. Trigonometry. It means 3 knees measurement, literally. It's the measurement of 3 knees, 3 angles. That's all it means. It's just ratios of this length to that length, and this angle to that length, or this angle to that angle. It's not difficult. It gets silly once you get into inverse signs and negative signs and signs of cosines, and I don't always understand any of that, but I didn't go that far with it. Anyway, here we go, folks, some Bible stuff. You need new glasses. I can't help you, my friend, I'm afraid. I keep being donated whenever I run out. I'm fortunate. But go to the pound shop, Poundland, if you're talking reading glasses. Poundland, or I know Americans laugh when we say Poundland because they've got a different meaning of pound. Okay, guys, 40 days and 40 nights of rain. That was the great flood during Genesis in the chapter 1 of that their book. Also, that bloke Noah, after he saw the tops of the mountains, he waited 40 days before sending out the ravens to look for dry land. Another 40 from the Bible. That big bloke Goliath. He challenged the other bunch twice a day for 40 days before David, the shepherd boy, cheated. He did cheat. He was supposed to go into kind of man-to-man, not exactly unarmed combat, it would have been swords and shields. But David went in with artillery. The bloke cheated. There's no other word for it. Everybody's fighting with swords and shields, maybe a net. You've seen Spartacus, you know how this works. Maybe a trident and a net, or a trident and a shield. But it would have been, mano a mano, armed combat, man to man in the middle of a field, desert, ring, whatever it was. But young David went in with artillery and started launching rocks. I don't know. Storming Norman Schwarzkopf would back David, wouldn't he? Whenever you go in for war, you want to go in with as uneven as battle as possible, but you want it to be uneven on your side. So, you know, I don't know. In my head, David cheated. You might say he used nous, you know, he used a bit of knowledge, but I don't know. I don't know. Join me on Sundays for TrampCast. It's the weekly look at the successes, the failures, the happenings in my life as a tramp, a homeless guy, a hobo, living in Torrevieja in Spain. It's at 5 o'clock Spanish time, Central European time. It's at 4 p.m. British summer time. And 10 a.m. US Central time. Love to see you there, folks. Okay. Delta Mike, out. Okay, more 40 days. That Jesus bloke, he fasted in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. There's more 40s, yeah? Also, same bloke, Jesus, perhaps. After he died, the guy gave up a weekend. Come on, he didn't really die. He gave up a bank holiday weekend. Let's not overstate his sacrifice here. Gave up what? Late on Friday he probably died. Maybe even on Saturday morning. But Monday or Sunday was it? He got up. Sunday he got up. He got up again and went for a walk. He didn't even give up the whole weekend. Where am I? So anyway, after he got up and went for a walk on that Sunday morning, he waited 40 days before ascending to heaven. 40 again, folks. Lent. That's 40 days before Easter, isn't it? It starts. What do we have? We have Pancake Day where we get rid of all the other stuff. That doesn't really count. That's the last day before Shrove Tuesday. But I think Ash Wednesday, I think that counts. I think that is Lent, and we go from there. 40 days takes you to the Sunday. I think that's me finished with the. That's me finished with the religious ones because I don't want to get in too much trouble. I'm not. I know this is Sunday as well, isn't it? When I do this, I always take a slightly irreverent look at the at our religious brethren. Mainly because science, you know. I don't know how after the age of 7 you could read Genesis and not start saying, "There's this bloke, there's that woman, there's their kids." Oh, but their kids start marrying people. What people? It quickly. Thomas Paine, I think it was, wasn't it, that wrote. He went through the whole book and listed every contradiction. I think that was Thomas Paine. Tom Paine. Getting sidetracked. Let's get back to the number 40. The weekly countdown of top hits in both the US, UK, and probably other countries. The top 40 became synonymous with a hit parade, or top of the pops, as we had in the UK. In the UK, in the Grand National, the big horse race that happens, I think in May, April or May, happens the next weekend to the FA Cup final, either the weekend before or the weekend after, whichever one doesn't have the boat race. It all gets a bit cramped around there. But the Grand National, 40 runners maximum in that there big horse race. Now here's one I've got to be careful with the pronunciation. Kyrgyzstan. It's a country of 40 tribes. Let's have a look. 40 tribes. I think the stan means land. In any of these countries, you're Pakistan, Afghanistan, the stan means land. The previous word means tribe. Ignore the I, that's like a joining word. So Pakistan, contrary to what we Brits used to call them, they call themselves the Paks. They are the Paks. And stan means land of the Paks. Afghanistan, land of the Afghans. The I is just a joining word. They're not Afghani, they're not. I can't say that word, I would get in trouble. We used to say it when I was a kid, it was every corner shop, wasn't it? But now we know better. I did the website once where I helped a bunch of guys with a website, and it was Pack something or Pax something. Not I. There was no I. We live and we learn, guys. We live and we learn. But Kyrgyzstan is the land of 40 tribes. And they have a lot of other things to do with 40 in their beliefs as a way of, I guess, drawing people together, trying to unify the 40 tribes into one cohesive group. Let's see whether they wave back or not. Where am I? 40 winks to take a nap. If you were here a couple of months ago and you saw the end of my stream where I fell asleep, 40 winks, folks. I wasn't sleeping. It was just 40 winks. Some might suggest 40 winks after 40 drinks. But those of you that were here that counted, it was only 6 cans. Only 6. Here's one. Here's one for the technical folks. People like Scruff Dog, if he's still here. WD-40. People think that it's an oil or that it's a lubricant. WD stands for water displacement. The idea of WD-40 is it gets moisture out of, you spray it in or on whatever, and it evaporates and it takes away the water with it. The 40 is because it was the 40th formula they tried. Water displacement formula 40. Scruff would know that. 40 is also in wedding anniversaries. Yeah, sucks for long-term lube because that's not what it is, yeah. Okay. All the evaporation probably leaves bits behind in the end and just makes things worse. Wedding anniversaries and other anniversaries. 40 is Ruby. What am I? Ruby wedding anniversaries. Okay, we always have almost always have one of these. International direct dialing codes. You dial whatever your access code for international calls is. In the UK and I think most of Europe it's 00, isn't it? But we write a plus on the phone anyway, just to mean access the international calls. And then we type the number 40. And that gets us Romania. We almost always have one of these, or we almost always have so far. There was the 1 week where the West German one, was it 37 or 38, had been taken back when, East German, when they unified. And then it had been fractionated. It had had the additional 10, the 10 additional digits added on the end, and it had been used for other countries. So it's been recycled, recirculated. But we almost always have one. Here's another one, folks. Quarantine is literally meaning 40 days, and it was 40 days isolation introduced. I think in was it Naples or Venice? One of the Italian or one of the towns, cities that are now Italy, but obviously weren't back then. But that was the way of keeping out the Black Death. Any ship that pulled up in port had to wait. It had to anchor and weigh anchor for 40 days. And if the Black Death was on board, everyone would be dead after that point. If they were clean, they got off the boat and came into port, into harbour. So that was the beginning of quarantine. Quarantine, 40. Okay, finally, with some sub-items. Atomic number 40 is zirconium with the letters or initial ZR, the symbol ZR. First identified, get this, identified in 1789, isolated in 1824, but in a rather impure form. It was another 101 years later, 1925, before it was produced cleanly and at mass in large volumes. So that's incredible. 101 years from when it was first being produced in an impure form. But what? 133 years, I think that is. No, 136 years after it was first discovered that it was mass produced. Incredible. Uses. It's used in places that get hot. Nuclear reactors, space vehicles, and turbine blades. And because it mentions getting hot, I assume we're talking jet engines rather than electricity turbines that just spin in the wind. You're looking at stuff that gets hot. So it didn't say this in the article I was reading, but that's got to be jet engines, hasn't it? Where they suck air in, compress it, expand it, light it, and turn the other end of the prop as well, and it all forces more air in. Okay, folks, this is episode 40 of TrampCast, and that was the facts about the number 40. Yeah, steam turbines. Yeah, places that get fuck off hot. Yeah. I meant as opposed to wind turbines, which are just sitting spinning in the air, which are probably going to pick up a bit of heat from friction, but nothing to write home about, I wouldn't have thought. Not that I know. I'm just a tramp sitting in a field. Okay, folks, quick swig of coffee. We're doing the two-handed drinking again. Can't quite make that out. Is that steam, Scuffer? It looks like it's steam or clouds, but oh shit! There goes the brawling. I've got it stuck in an inch of soil. There's only an inch before I hit bedrock. I do live on top of a cliff top. Where are we? That was the numbers.